so quickly, it'll toss you all around. This world belongs to darkness, it'll only let you down. Oh, in the morning, let my prayer come to you. Lord, I need you. Father, when you call me.
Well, I'm Bhakta Timothy Conley. This is Sister Janessa Howard, and we're going to continue with the third segment.
We're back again. Hope this is going to be some help to you. It certainly has helped us and helped many friends that we have shared this with. This is our big three: how to get back to the garden.
One of the key things, the word surrender a lot of times sounds weak. It sounds like what you're doing is you're giving up or you're giving in. But if you think of surrendering to God and getting away from your own ego as the best way of getting in tune with loving God, then you're really going to be onto something. What I have found is the more I surrender, the less I need to control things, the less I need everything to be exactly the way I want it to be, the more in line I am with God's will. I'm able to respect you, I'm able to respect your time, I'm able to not only respect your good choices, but your bad choices. I'm able to say, okay, this person is doing it this way because obviously that's what they see, feel, think, and believe. And maybe if I were in their shoes, I would be right there with them. And without surrendering, you can't not be judgmental. You can't not have a negative bias towards people. You can't be open to new ideas. Surrendering doesn't mean that you don't do all of the exact same things that it takes to be successful. It means that you don't worry so much about the outcome, the results.
That's right. And one of the demons here is expectation. If I go into an event or a marriage or anything like that, and I have very high expectations about what I want, very specific things about I expect my husband to do this, and I expect him to be up here with this, and I expect certain things to go across the board and be smooth, and that is a recipe for complete disaster. In our experience, and especially certainly in my experience. But if I go in and I say, okay, we're all just human here, we're all just trying to do our best, and we're not going to expect a whole lot. We're just going to try to get along and have things kind of go a little bit. Things go so much smoother. I don't have this anxiety in my head going on in my head where things have to be up to here. Things have to go this way. Things have to be here. I think we all share these kinds of anxieties. So the expectation can be a big demon.
And another thing that this allows you to do is it gives you this great opportunity of letting God be God. I know from personal experience, I want to rule the world. I want to say, it should be like this, and everybody jumps to attention. And I also know that I'm not alone in that. And when we surrender to God's will, when we just let things play themselves out, we let life flow in whatever way it's going to flow. When we say, whether I want it to be rainy today or sunny, it's going to probably be just about the way it's going to be anyway, then we can know a certain freedom. We can know a certain release. Paul McCartney said it pretty darn good. Let it be. What do you gain anyway if you don't?
That's right. You only irritate and frustrate yourself, and you ruin everybody's time around you. Nobody can have a good time while you're sitting there grumbling and griping, about it rained and blah blah this and negative about that. That it really doesn't serve anybody, and it spoils your joy that you could be having.
I think that with the whole thing of surrender, though, it is important to realize we're not talking about being lazy and unmotivated and feeling that nothing that I do matters anyway. That's not the point. The point is that it's okay to want success. It's okay to want people to be cooperative. It's okay. It's important. It is vital even. But we then have to understand one other thing. Our world is powered by energy. Energy is the very thing that powers our world. Attitudes are an energy. And if our attitude is, I'm going to be happy whether you go along with me or not. I'm going to love God whether you're cooperative or not, whether the day rolls exactly the way I want it to be or not. When that is our approach to things, man, it becomes a lot harder to throw us off our game.
Absolutely. That's one of the coping mechanisms, that if you practice the big three, you are going to cope so much better with all the adversities that all of us have daily. You're going to cope so much better and feel so much better. While we're on that subject, we want to get to our number 3 of our big three. And number 3 of our big three is be kind, because everyone is struggling and all of us are damaged.
Once you get a sense of that, it's so much easier to forgive people. It's so much easier to tolerate people's weaknesses and foibles. It's easier to accept your own weaknesses and foibles. A lot of things go into why we're damaged. A lot of things that we can control that we didn't, and a lot of things that we couldn't control that are completely out of our hands. And when we look at the guy across from us and we say, I'm sure he's doing his best. I'm sure he's doing what he thinks is right. I'm sure he thinks he's doing his best, even though from your point of view or understanding, it's kind of crazy. To understand that the person's maybe damaged. He may have a blind spot there. He may be a little bit too caught up in his own selfishness, a selfishness that every one of us is guilty of being exactly the same way at various and sundry times in our own lives. That then gives us a power to forgive.
It does. And remember, when we are judging someone else, we are really judging ourselves, because we all of humanity, we all have the same weaknesses. We all have the same things that make us stumble. So don't judge the other guy, because in effect, you're judging yourself. But if you feel like you want to judge the other guy, stop and think a minute. What might he have gone through that might have made him the way he is? Maybe I can't understand why he's behaving the way he is. But if I stop and think a minute, something in the past may have happened, or maybe he had a trauma, maybe he's sick, maybe he forgot. There are umpteen number of things that could have made this person behave the way they're behaving. And to sit there and judge, that's not our job. Leave that to God. It's God's job.
I think that by understanding that people are damaged, that people don't want to be damaged, people struggle with it, and we can just accept it. That what we're really doing there is we're kind of imitating Christ, who, when he was on the cross, one of the things he said was, Father, forgive them, for they don't have a clue. They're lost. They don't know what's going on. How true that was. And our knee-jerk reaction is always, Father, don't forgive them. Punish them. Let's get back at them. Let's let them know that nobody can do that and get away with it. But Christ's attitude was, Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them. So when we look at people and we say, they're damaged, we're imitating Christ there. That's how we can be more Christ-like ourselves.
And remember that he said, all of us, forgive all of them. This is what he asked his Father, because they don't know what they're doing. That includes all of us, me, all of you watching, everybody, and everybody is included in his love, and everybody is included in his knowledge that we were all so damaged from living in this material world. And so we could cut ourselves a break, cut the other guy a break, because you just don't know what the other guy has been through.
Well, I think that just about wraps things up for this session, and I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Sister Janessa. I'd like to thank our cameraman, Patrick.
And thank you all for listening, and we'll be back at you with another teaching at another time, and we hope you join us again. Blessings.
Let these prayers rise up to you. Jesus, I love you.